Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the football podcast. That's right, the guys here, they're talking football, games gone, games to come, and everything in between. What more could you possibly want from a football podcast? Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review, leave a comment where you can leave a comment, and the most important one, share that podcast around. If you know somebody that likes football, send them this podcast. They will like it. Simples. Right, here we go. This is CookieCast, the football podcast.
Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to your weekly dose of football nonsense from us here at the CookieCast Podcast Network. Those of you joining us on the YouTube, you'll see myself and the two smiling faces of Mezzers, Woodmansey and more. How are we this week, gentlemen?
Hungry.
50-50.
Well, we'd better get this one done and dusted nice and speedy. So, we'll dive straight into the first game of Week 11, which saw Norwich City taking on Hull City. This was a 12:30 early kickoff, and you definitely weren't going to Norwich, so we were able to enjoy it on the TV. I don't believe you were.
No, I was working during the day at the Dark and Wild Beer Festival for Northern Monk, which, I mean, I'll be honest, I had it penned down as being more fruitful than going all the way to Norwich for football. Even if we win, and it kind of was. So, anyway, for the fans that did go, a long trip to Norwich with a very early start for the travelling fans to get there for the 12:30 kickoff. And unfortunately, for the majority of the first half, those fans were probably expecting the worst, as chance after chance fell the way of the home side. Despite a bit of an audacious attempt by Hull right at the start of the game, don't know if either you saw this. Referee blows for kickoff. John Egan just shoots straight away from the kickoff. Apparently, the commentary team for the game, I don't know who it was that was speaking, said, "Oh, I've seen that happen sometimes at my academy," and I thought, so you're either lying or you're just promoting your own academy there. But well done, sir, whoever you were. It did narrowly go over. So who knows? Maybe we'll see that actually happen at some point during the season. It would be pretty fun if it did. But yeah, after that, Norwich took over. A ball in from the right, bound for Josh Sargent, was smothered by Panda. The next chance fell to Sargent also, but he blazed it over from 2 yards out. Multiple corners followed. The Duffy header being theatrically pushed over by Pando. You know, one of them ones where you look at it and your keeper's like had a right flap and you think, what are you done that for? Like, it was almost like it was coming to him in slow motion and he like did the jazz hands to finish it. But yeah. Yeah. So, the following corner saw Norwich miss a free header in the 6-yard box. And this was all before the 19th minute. In the 19th minute, the Norwich fans protested by throwing tennis balls onto the pitch. It's nice, it's lucky for them that the tennis balls come in their home colour, I guess. Yeah.
Did you see how many in total were thrown on the pitch?
It was not many.
It was about 5, wasn't it?
It was 5, apparently. Yeah. Big protest. Ooh, yeah. The disruption that caused must have caused absolute scenes.
Well, I mean, it's nice that every single one of the fans that turned up brought one, though. Anyway, Hull's only shots of the first half came in quick succession, and Darla's was blocked, and then Gelhardt decided that he was going to pick out Steve in Rosed. So that wasn't particularly fruitful. Schlupp then did the same for Norwich, and then it was half-time. Hull needed half-time, to be fair, and a change in formation saw Ajayi come on for Hadzimatovic, and that allowed the full-backs to push on when needed. the change paid off after just 4 minutes. A Norwich clearance headed through by Crooks for Gelhardt to latch onto, and that was on the right-hand side of the goal. A shot across goal was missed by the defender and goalkeeper, and it trickled in to give Hull the lead. Hull should have been 2 goals to the good when Kyle Joseph chased down Duffy to pick his pocket, which was great. If you've seen this, Duffy's reaction wasn't get up and help his team. It was lie flat on his back and punch the ground, leaving Kyle Joseph just to get on with it. But unfortunately, in the ensuing 1v1, the shot was at a really comfortable height for the keeper, and he managed to make a save. But the second goal for Hull finally arrived in the 87th minute. Cody Drammer played the ball across the box from the right to find Giabi, and the first shot of his was saved, but he put away the rebound for his very first Hull City goal. So final score, Norwich 0, Hull City 2, goals for Gelhardt and Giabi, and that now means that Norwich had lost 7 straight games at home. But possibly my favourite thing from the entire day was seeing the players. I think we talked about it before, when they've got like the package where they have like the AI photo and the score and stuff like that they put up on their socials afterwards. Matt Crooks doesn't have that. He just put up a picture of Delia Smith with the "Where are you?" So well done, Matt Crooks. Enjoyed that one a lot.
King Shithouse himself. Yes. One thing I did hear was that it was when Hull scored their second goal, the away supporters were not heard, as the home supporters were booing so vociferously that it drowned out any cheering that might have been coming from the away stand, which is not ideal.
When
podcast predictions wise.
Sorry, when they were doing the videos of the guys walking around the pitch and sort of going to the fans and stuff afterwards, you could hear the Hull fans chanting a little bit, but even after the game, the Norwich fans had stayed.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yes, they want the sporting director gone. I think it's safe to say. So, podcast predictions wise, both myself and Mr. Woodmansey had gone for a 1-1 draw. We both had Sargent to score for Norwich. Stuart Joseph, I had Gelhardt for Hull, so I bagged myself a bonus point. Mr. Mo, however, I'd gone for a 2-1 Hull win, and he also picked Gelhardt as his goal scorer, as one of his goal scorers. Sadly, Giles and Schwartau did not score, so just the 1 bonus point to go along with his point for the result. So 2 points to Matt, a point for myself, 0 points for Stu. So far, our second game of the day took us to the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest were taking on Manchester United. And I think going into this one, Mr. Big Hair himself was looking for a 4th win on the spin to keep his record going, and wants to get to 5 wins in a row. He can cut that barnet. Is he sharpening the clippers as we speak, Mr. Moore?
Well, as I said last week, kind of to give it away, if Forest won, I'd wear a tribute wig to him. So obviously, no Forest win. But a much improved performance. Again, from the limited amount of time they put highlights on the telly, and from like listening to the radio and stuff like that, Forest kind of took it to Man United. I think it was a bit of a kind of to and fro between the two teams. I think Forest had some good early chances with probably Jesus and Doy as well had a good shot on target, but then the kind of a little bit like deja vu all over again. Forest conceded a corner that wasn't a corner. The ball was played in from the right-hand side for United. Savona headed it away, hustled over to keep it in, and the linesman managed to see through several players a goal, and about from the other side of the pitch, one side of the pitch to the other, to see that it definitely went out of play, considering that the referee was also closer and on that side of the pitch, which, and I think that there's obviously Deitch has come out and said that why on earth have we not got something that can? I don't know how the goal technology works, but it doesn't even have to be VAR. It just has to be whatever the goal technology is. Whatever the goal technology is, that means the ball has crossed the line to go into the goal. Surely that can be extended out along the lines of the thing.
But it can't be that hard because the thing that they use is actually in the base of the goalposts. So surely they just put one on the other side of the goalpost facing at the corner flag, and they put one in the corner flag.
There must be something. There must be something. There must be like Hawkeye. At Wimbledon now, they've done with the dapper dressed folk who go and do the lines, and they just have Hawkeye doing it, and it's an instantaneous thing. So it must be doable. Instead of because people are like, don't want any more VAR. Well, actually, that shouldn't have taken that. If VAR were allowed to deal with that, that would have been a 10-second job.
Yep.
And once again, you kind of everybody starts on the we don't need any more VAR. And dickheads like Shearer, you're the reason why we've got VAR in the first place, because your stupid show shows all the mistakes that the referees makes, and then dickheads go online and abuse these people online. So all these ex-footballers and presenters can't get sanctimonious about it because it's your fucking fault at the end of the day. But in this instance, I just don't know how VAR isn't the logical solution. I just don't understand it at all.
The bit that I don't understand is if there'd have been a foul in the build-up, they'd have pulled it back for that, and it would have been essentially looking for something that would have caused a break in play. Well, surely the ball going out falls into that category as well. So why are they not? Why are they not allowed to do that one?
Exactly, it's absolutely insane. But and as Deitch said, it's not an excuse for not defending the goal properly. Forest obviously last year defended corners really well. We went from being one of the worst in the league to one of the best in the league. Now we're back to being somewhere closer to the worst, which is great. And when you get beaten by Casemiro, who one is one of the smallest players on the pitch, and two is that old that jumping probably hurts nowadays. So, if I'm only speaking from my own personal experience, it hurts to jump nowadays. I don't like
catching strays. Oh, amazing!
But decent header. So Forest go 1-0 down, and that was 30-odd minute mark, I think.
34.
34. There you go. So then I think Forest kind of took a little bit of a step back and kind of struggled a little bit to kind of, I think United kind of came onto them a bit and tried to kind of kill the game off. But luckily Forest kind of held out. What I did miss was after 14 minutes, Douglas Luiz went off with a hamstring injury. Just put that one in a little note, folks. He has to play 15 games of over 45 minutes for the obligation to buy to be triggered for 20 million. And yeah, he's done that 6 times already. So yeah, injury and if you think about it, he didn't start the season. He's had a bit of time out with an injury already, and we're back off with another injury as well. And there's plenty more games for him to get those 9 games of over 45 minutes in the thing. So hopefully, I'd like to say that Forest's medical team were notorious for being able to fix problems like that. To be fair, our injury record wasn't too bad last season, but we'll see. Ask Taiwo what his feelings are on them. But Ryan Yates came on and apparently kind of gave the team a bit of oomph about them as well, and also went around upsetting, and not that it's that hard, upsetting Bruno Fernandes. Apparently, first thing he did was kick him and give him a shove, and he immediately started having a whinge. But Forest went in, got a team talk and came out the traps in the second half. So kind of nod to Mr. Panas, but Mr. Panas' apparent favourite player, Savona, got the ball, decent cross in for Gibbs White to rise at the back post and nod it into the back of the net. So 1-1. 2 minutes later, and at this point I'd left the pub and was walking to somewhere else. To which then, when I got to the next pub, I got a message saying, "Oh, it's all that's escalated quickly." And to which I was thinking, I better not open my phone because it might be like 3 or 4-0 now. To which then Savona had equalised. Ryan Yates played the ball into the box. It got nodded up by one of the Man United players for Jesus to get in there and tussle with multiple Man United defenders by the look of it. But to fall to Savona and just for him to lash it in the back of the net. So 2-1. I think then Forest kind of went a little bit into their shell. I think, obviously Man United came on, they brought other players on. But Forest went into their shell a bit and they had a couple of chances. I think Hudson-Odoi had a good chance to extend the lead. It just drifted wide. I don't know if you guys have seen it, the Diallo handball in the box. It's one of them ones, like last week where I said, last week where I said, or the week before where they said there's handballs that are given in European games but not given in the Premier League. This would if Forest would have had this in the Europa League, they 100% would have got a penalty from it because it hit his head and then kind of dribbled down the rest of his arm and then flicked his hand, which was out like this. A perfect example of where his arm position was. And it hit the arm several times on the way down. So I'm like, first time fine, but come on, like the next few times. But of course, didn't get that penalty. VAR had a look. Then, unfortunately, they were made to pay for that. I can't think who'd. I think Elliot Anderson conceded a corner. It was a perfectly fine corner. It was a tackle. Ball was played into the box. It was kind of headed out, and he volleyed it in the back of the net. I mean, it was a bit of a screamer, really. I don't think anyone's stopping that one. Kind of game carried on. Forest didn't really have any more chances. I think old Crybaby hit the post, and Casemiro managed to put the rebound past the post. And right near the end, Murillo cleared the ball off the line. I kind of think there was one stage when I was listening to when I was watching the highlights, the commentator on the BBC credited Nico Williams with it at first, and there was like, oh no, it was Murillo. But yeah, so 2-2 draw. It's one of them ones where you feel slightly aggrieved to get the draw, but kind of grateful that you got the draw. It's kind of one of them ones where all three results could have happened, and you wouldn't have really kind of been able to complain too much. But a good point, and hopefully after the slight false dawn of Porto at home, this is the true kind of kickstart to the season.
Fingers crossed. I don't think you can ever sort of snip at a point at home against Manchester United, regardless of where they're at in their particular sort of.
Not when you look at our history against Man United.
And when they just won 3 on the spin in the build-up to it as well.
Well, yeah.
True. Very true. Predictions-wise, myself and Mr. Woodmansey were not convinced that they were going to get anything, so a point is definitely a bonus. Stuart had them down for Manchester United down for a 2-1 win. Sadly, none of Igor Jesus, Mbuemo or Sesko scored. I also had Man United down for a 2-1 win. Hudson-Odoi and Fernandez didn't score, but I did have Diallo down for a goal, so I did manage to bag myself a bonus point there. Mr. Mo, however, had gone for a 1-1 draw here, so bags himself a point for the result. Sadly, Anderson and Fernandez did not net. So just a point for me and a point for Mr. Mo. So Matt moves to 3, I move to 2. Stu stays on 0. Will he get off the mark at some point this week?
Will it be this week's goal scoring? Just so we
Yeah, always. Well, I think it's most weeks, if we're being entirely honest. Yeah, always in for the lowest. Will he get off the mark in our third game of the week, which took place at Vicarage Road and saw Watford versus my team, Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough seemed to start this one. The better of the two, the better of the opening 15 minutes. Potentially could have gone ahead, but weren't able to capitalise on their good start. And they were punished. Punished they were in the 15th minute. Watford scored very much against the run of play, according to the reports. There was a ball just sort of at the edge of their box. It was just sprayed out to the right-hand side. And managed to make his way onto the ball and just carried it almost untouched down the right-hand side until he managed to make his way into the edge of the box, cut the ball back, and loser had managed to make an untracked run onto around the penalty spot, about 12 yards out, and just struck the ball home without too much fuss, sadly. So yes, 1-0 to Watford after 15 minutes. Middlesbrough did have a chance to equalise when Matt Targett had a free kick from about 25 yards out that he struck round the wall, forced a good save from the keeper up in the top left-hand corner to tip it around the post. But it was Watford who increased their lead on the 32nd minute, and it was another ball down that right-hand side again. About midway in the Borough half, the guy on the right hand side swung the ball over. Kjerumgaard was unmarked. Well, I say unmarked. He was on the penalty spot, and the defender wasn't able to get back in fully, and he had almost an unchallenged effort where he just stroked it first time low to the keeper's right to make it 2-0. So it was 2-0 at half time. And they didn't have to wait too long into the second half to increase their lead even further. On the 49th minute, it originally went down as a Kjerumgaard second, but having watched the clip back, I am willing to give it to Doumbia on the 49th minute. Just seemed to be a long, hopeful ball that was played, surprise, surprise, down the right-hand side. Doumbia ran onto it, switched the ball onto his left foot, carried it until just outside the box, and unleashed an absolute thunderbolt into the top, Solbrin's top left-hand corner. It's one of those ones where 2, 3, 4 keepers wouldn't have saved it. An absolute thunderbolt. I think Kjerumgaard was on the edge of the box, and it looked like it might have taken a little nick off his back on the way past. But I think if you're taking that off Doumbia, you're going to be a bit of a bit of a bastard, because it was a hell of a strike. Couple of chances for either side to score in the remainder of the game, but it kind of petered out from there, and ended with Watford in a sound beating of the Borough, 3-0. Not really ideal for Rob Edwards going back to his former side, but yes, the curse of Vicarage Road goes on for at least another season, sadly. Watford 3, Middlesbrough 0. Stu and Matt have both predicted a 2-1 Middlesbrough win. Stu had gone for Bar. Sadly, no points for assists. He had Sen and Bergzog just off the Borough, so no points for Mr. Woodmansey. Matt had a 2-1 win for the Borough. Whitaker and Sen, no points. Did have Doumbia down as a goal scorer, so I have given him the point for that. I, very sensibly, had gone for a 2-1 Watford win, because I know this team. So I didn't predict any of the scorers, so I just got the 1 point for that. So 3 points for myself through 3 games, 4 points for Mr. Moore through 3 games. So does he get to score still? Will he get off the mark when we take a trip to the East Midlands, where Derby County were taking on Hull City? Should we just rattle through this one? We don't really need to go into too much detail, given the result, do we?
I look at all the notes I've got. Look, I know.
Is most of the notes about the fact that Derby are a bunch of cheating, diving, kicking bastards?
I mean, We can get to that. Did you watch the game?
No, I was busy watching the Borough game.
Did you need to? Well, it started out, conditions for the game were absolutely terrible. It was pouring it down for pretty much the entire first half.
Surprise,
Derby
surprise, it was in Leicester as well.
Derby came into the game having won their last 3 on the spin, and Hull were unbeaten in 6. So it's kind of, I guess, a meeting of 2 form teams. But the slippery conditions resulted in a mistake by Derby on the 13th minute, which allowed Matt Crooks to get a shot away from 20 yards, but he crashed the ball against the crossbar. Derby then grew into the game, restricted Hull to very little, really, for the rest of the first half. Agyemang had a shot deflected behind in the 26th minute, resulted in a couple of corners in quick succession for Derby. And unfortunately for anybody that is a bit of a purist in football, Carlton Morris scored from the second one with a header after what could only be possibly described as mounting Semi Ajayi. Pinned him to the deck, prevented him from challenging for a clearance at all. Just disgraceful, really. That referee, and I know we go on, particularly me goes on about the standard of refereeing in the Championship, was a disgrace. And as the game bore on, it wasn't just for the decisions against my team. There was plenty of shit that happened in this game, which we'll get to, which the referee had an absolute nightmare over. Anyway, after that, not really much else in the first half, so it was 1-0 Derby at half-time. The Hull manager must have given him a bit of a rocket at half-time because Hull came out a different side, as seems to have happened in the last 3 or 4 games. Crooks had an early shot saved, but then Hull did draw level on 50 minutes with Joel Ndala's first senior goal. Balling from Gelhardt caused a bit of confusion in the Derby backline. Centre-back and goalkeeper came out to it, along with Ndala, and all 3 sort of collided. But the ball and Ndala managed to squirm out of the back end. Ndala poked the ball home whilst almost being sat on the goal line, and the finish was effectively a breakdance move. It was a little weird. Certainly one he'll remember as his first senior goal, but also probably for the nature of it being a little bit odd. But after that, Hull were 100% comfortable, creating more chances. Unfortunately, none of them taken. There was a couple of instances where Derby did manage to get an attack, one of which was a ball through, and it came out to the right-hand side of Pandor's area, and he came out to collect it. Realised he was very close to the line, and dropped the ball. Referee, yeah, you're fine, mate. You carry on. Everybody else in the ground and on TV could see that he clearly was at least 2 steps outside of the box. Referee did nothing about it from a Derby perspective. Obviously for me, not too bothered, but just terrible. Absolutely terrible referee. More crunching here and there as well. He just didn't get a grip on any of it. But I can't for the life of me think of the guy's name. But I remember having him at home last season, and he was just one of them referees that wants to kind of be everybody's mate and let the game go on. But then you come up against a team where I suppose the PC way of describing them would be a physical team. But what we all know from that is that they're a bunch of dickheads who don't play football and would sooner rather put your Achilles out than score a goal. It just don't get a grip, and it just goes on for the entire game. Pandor didn't have his greatest night in a Hull shirt, and the finest example of that came on 83 minutes. Another long ball through. It's coming out to the edge of the area. You could see him waving off Semi Ajayi, who was the nearest player to the ball. Pandor said, "Don't you worry, pal, I've got it." Instantly pressured by Weimann, Pandor managed to pass his clearance straight to Salverson, who scored into an empty net from outside the box with only his second touch of the game. So that close to the end, you're always kind of going to be a bit stretched to try and then get an equaliser or get anything from the game. They did have 6 minutes of added time to go at, they did battle, but ultimately Pando's mistake ended Hull's unbeaten run and unfortunately extended Derby's win streak to 4 in a row. So final score, Derby 2, Hull 1, Morris and Salverson for Derby and Ndala for Hull.
Yeah, disappointing to say the least.
They didn't play terribly. It was just a couple of mistakes, really.
That's just it. It's like when you see the keeper do something as stupid as that, it's just, oh God. Just thinking, I remember Borough losing the game up to QPR once, where I think 1-0, and they conceded in the 95th minute or something like that because the keeper basically slipped over as he was making a clearance and just kicked it straight to Bobby Zamora, took it in from like 2 yards out. Sickening. Podcast predictions wise, not a great day for myself and Mr. Moat. Matt had gone for myself. I'd gone for a 2-0 Hull win with Crooks and Joseph to score. So no points for me. Matt had gone for a 1-0 Hull win with Ndala to score. So bags himself a point. Stuart had gone for a 1-1 draw with Gelhardt to score for Hull, but Morris to score for Derby. So he is off the mark, ladies and gentlemen. He has 1 point from 4 games.
Gonna win now.
Matt has a whopping 5 points from 4 games so far. We do have one more game to go, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get to Leicester City versus Middlesbrough, we will just take a very, very short break and we will be right back at you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. And just like that, we're back. So, 1 game left to finish off. Week 11, and it was Leicester City versus Middlesbrough, because this was being played in the East Midlands. As covered in the Derby Hull game, the weather was biblical as the heavens had opened, and it continued to shit it down for the entire 90 minutes that was played. Another game where Borough sort of started the better of the two teams. But it was Leicester who had the first couple of chances. There was a free kick from Luke Thomas. The ball was played across, but the Leicester guy was not able to get on the end of it. A couple of chances from Borough, shot from that target that the keeper did save, but he sort of like spilled it, and Borough were able to capitalise, so he was able to sort of drop on top of it. In saving that, actually, he did actually do himself a bit of a disservice and had to be taken off at half time, the goalkeeper. The game looked like he was going to peter out to a bit of a 0-0 at half time, until Hayden Hackney took it upon himself to give the referee something to think about, shall we say. He found himself on the edge of the box, and the ball bounced. And he tried to control it, but rather than using any part of his body that would be deemed legal, he decided to throw his arm out into the path of the ball and control it, and then look incredibly surprised when the referee pointed to the spot and gave the penalty. He was like, I don't understand. How can you be given a penalty for that? Well, it's handball, Hayden, and you stood in the box. So generally, that generally tends to happen when you handball in the box, mate. Jordan Ayew picks up the ball, sticks it on the spot, dispatches the penalty on the 45th plus 4 minutes of injury time in the first half. So Leicester go in 1-0 up at half time. Like I say, Asmir Begovic was a second half, was a half time substitute for Leicester, came on and then proceeded to have a very, very good game in the second half, repelling numerous Borough chances as they tried to get back into the game. Whitaker had a chance that he put onto the top of the net. Hackney screwed one wide. Fatawu for Leicester found himself a bit lucky to not be given a second yellow card if he was a little bit late with a challenge on Matt Target. Definitely definitely after the ball had gone. Definitely late. Definitely not good. Probably in front of the referee, so maybe can find himself a little bit lucky to get away with that one. The best chance that Borough had of getting the equaliser came in the 87th minute when Tommy Conway found himself pretty much clean through. It was an awful sort of mix-up between himself and the defenders. The ball sort of, like, he was looking to get it through, and I think it was Vestergaard who closed him down, but then the ball just seemed to sort of squirm back into Conway's path, and he just went on. But he shot his effort straight. Begovic smothered it away, and the chance was gone. And then on the 90th minute, the game looked like it was well and truly gone for Borough, as Alfie Jones was shown a straight red card for pulling back Steffi Mavadidi as he was galloping his way into the box. Probably about 25 yards out. At first, I thought it was a bit harsh, as I thought there was a defender around on the cover, but on second viewing, the covering defender was nowhere near, and it was probably one of the most clear red cards you would ever have thought. So, yeah, not great. So Borough heading into injury time, looking like they're going to be suffering a back-to-back defeats until Callum Britton was on the right-hand side, cut back, tried to sort of trick the defender out of the ball, did a little pirouette, and then just swung the ball into the back stick, just a bit of a hopeful punt into the box, where Luke Ayling had managed to find his way up from the back and looped a header over the keeper into the back of the net. That was on the 90+6th minute of injury time, sending the travelling Borough supporters into absolute raptures and queuing several boos from the home supporters. Rob Edwards on the sideline went absolutely wild as well. He was punching the air, punching his assistants, chest bumping, all sorts. Absolute carnage. But yes, not one of Borough's best games, but a very, very hard-fought point to... it does drop them out of the automatic promotion places. I know we're only 12 or 13 games in, so that matters for absolute bollocks all. But does drop them out of the automatic promotion places and puts them 5 points behind Coventry at the top of the table. Podcast prediction-wise, I'd gone for a 2-1 Middlesbrough win, with goals for Ramsey for Leicester City. Don't think he even made it on the pitch. Sen and Morris. No points for me. Stu had gone for a 1-1 draw, with a goal for Fatawu and Conway. So Conway bursting through would have been absolutely lovely, but he spurned the chance. 2 points for the correct score. Matt also had a 1-1 draw. He also had Conway, but he had Carranza to score for Leicester. So just the same for Matt, 2 points just for the correct scoreline. That means that come the end of the 5 games, myself and Mr. Woodmansey find ourselves tied on 3 points. But, Mr. Moore, points in every single game this week. 2 in the first, 2 in the last, point in each of the other ones. Bags in a whopping 7 points for the week. And the win. Well done to you, sir.
I had my Weetabix last week.
Oh, lovely stuff. We'll waste no further time, and we will dive straight into Week 12's games, of which there are 4 no midweek games next week, because, of course, there's an international break coming, ladies and gentlemen, because, it's only been about 8 seconds since we had the last one. So we'd better get the next one really, really scheduled pretty quickly. So we open with another Nottingham Forest European adventure, this one away from home, where they play, bear with me, SK Puntigamer Sturm Graz. That's correct. I believe they are Austrian. Tough opponents. We will find out. It's Mr. Moore's team. He will give his prediction last. I have mine in the book ready to go. There's a fair amount of scratchings out here because I definitely had 2 players, one of which wasn't in the squad for the European games, so he was never going to score, and one who is short of match fitness. So I have removed Measures Wood and Awonyi from my Nottingham Forest 3-0 win. I've replaced one of them with Cali Muendo. I've gone for a goal apiece each for McAtee and Yates. Stu?
I've gone for 1-0 Forest with Hudson-Odoi.
That is very easy to spell. Matthew?
So I think based on kind of what I've seen and listening to like other podcasts and reading stuff and the game that we'll talk about in a bit, I think there'll be a lot of changes just to give some players a rest. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw because I just think, I think there'll be a few changes, but probably maybe a couple in defence, definitely 2 or 3 in midfield, and definitely up front. So I've gone 1-1 draw. So for Sturm Graz, I've gone for CD Jatta. Because I definitely didn't read it as CD Jaffa before. I was like, hey, I've got some weird stuff in Austria.
Can confirm his first name is spelled exactly how you would think it
is.
Yeah.
I'm not.
S-E-E-D-Y.
I'm not messing about with you. CD Jatta. And I've gone for McAtee to score for Forest.
Ooh, lovely.
I'm hoping he gets 90 minutes. I hope he plays well. He looked really chuffed with himself on the plane when he was going on the plane today. So
he's one of those players where I just think he could, because he's come from the City Academy, he's clearly got something about him. Pep was giving him game time as well last season and over the previous couple of seasons. I think he could be one of those guys where he just needs a goal to get him started, and he could become like...
The unfortunate thing is he needs a bit of a run in the team.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's whether he's going to get it. That's the problem, because at the moment we've got two... I mean, one of them is not playing particularly well, goal and kind of kicking on from there aside at the weekend. Gibbs White. I think he is there as the heir apparent for Morgan Gibbs White. But I don't know the way he's going. I don't know where he thinks he's going to go at the end of the season, if he's going to move somewhere. But and I think the idea would have been was the fact that obviously we'll be playing 2 different 11s, one on Thursday, one on at the weekend. But that's kind of not panned out with injuries and stuff like that, and us being shit at the start of the season. So yeah, hopefully he'll get a game. Hopefully he'll be able to like boss it a little bit, kind of have that kind of like really influential role, and then he's the midweek kind of number 10 kind of thing, and hopefully can kind of do that. But yeah, so hopefully not hopefully a 1-1 draw. Hopefully Forest win, but. If worst comes to worst, nice little dirty CD Jaffa and McAtee to score.
Lovely stuff. Our second game of the week takes us to the weekend's fixtures and is another 12:30 kickoff live on the Sky Sports telebox via the medium of the Sky Sport Plus channel. And it is Hull City taking on Portsmouth. In attendance?
Full squad.
Very nice. Oh, lovely. It is, of course, Mr. Woodmansey. It seems that he will give the prediction at last. I will go straight back to Mr. Moore to get his prediction for Hull versus Portsmouth.
I am going for a Hull win. Portsmouth do not look good from what I've seen, which could be a double-edged sword. But I've gone for a good, confident Hull 2-1 win, and Dalla to keep the kind of thing going, and just to kind of go in with a similar name, Akintola. I've gone with Akintola as well. But just to make sure, just to keep Mr. Williams on his toes, I've gone for Kozanovsky.
Oh, you bugger.
Oh, good Christ. Right. Talk amongst yourselves, as apparently I'm going to have to learn Polish on how to spell this one.
Well, Paul, just a little spoiler. You might need to write this name more than once.
Don't worry about it. I'm proficient with the ditto marks.
It's ditto with this one's ditto with lines though. This one.
If Paul's having to look for how to spell it, I might have time to look to see if there's an even longer name I can pick for.
Oh, you filthy slag! Right, it's in the book. Yeah, Portsmouth really do look bad, don't they? Do you know what? They've only won one game in 11. I bet you can't guess which team it was that gave them that fucking.
What a
Yes, I'm in agreement on this one. I believe Hull will get the win, and I've gone for a 2-0. I've gone for a goal apiece for Joseph and Slater. Neither one of them has, pulled a tongue muscle or something like that that's going to keep them out of the.
No, they both played against Derby. Kyle Joseph should have scored, but that I'm hoping is not reverting him back to the Kyle Joseph of old. But no, they're definitely both in the team currently.
Very nice. Just leave yourself then to give us your prediction for Hull versus Portsmouth. Obviously, you'll be in attendance, so you'll be hoping for a very convincing
3-1 Hull win.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
And
Very
Paul,
nice.
you'll be delighted to know that I have managed to play for some points and change my goal scoring option.
Oh no!
So for Hull, seeing as he didn't score against Derby, I'll go Gelhardt because he's in that form at the moment. Crooks is well overdue for me.
Is he not? I thought he was having this problem where he was having to manage through games and stuff.
He is, but he started on Tuesday night, so I suspect he'll be on at least the bench for this one. I think it's a case of because Liam Miller with his hamstring injury is going to be out until the end of the month, so I feel like that they'll be more like Crooks is basically trying to hang on until Miller's back.
It's like one of them ones where they go, the quarterback's done his ACL, but it's all right. It's completely separated, so it can't get anywhere. So we'll just stick a big metal cage on the outside of it, and he'll finish the last kind of 4 or 5 games of the season, and then get the operation. I feel that's what it is. It's like, well, he's partially partially ripped his pectoral, so we'll just wait for it to fully rip off, and then we'll do the.
Not in the business as the Cody Rhodes. Like it.
It's a strange one though, because it is a chest injury, apparently, but he's all like, he must be taped up to fuck when he plays, because obviously you don't see it, do you? Like, he don't look like he's injured. He don't play like he's injured.
Unless he's rocking the D'Lo Brown.
What, he's got a wobbly neck?
Well, the chest protector, man. The chest protector.
Oh, I see what you mean.
The Chris Brooks chest prop.
Right. If he's listening, which obviously he is, because why wouldn't he be? But obviously, if he does score and he pops out there,
the D'Lo celebration.
He's clearly a big fan. So
anyway, we got sidetracked there. So Gelhardt, Crooks, and Ndala. I also agree that once he's had one, I think he will fly. So let's see if he can do it 2 for 2.
Pringles in effect, eh?
And Paul, the one for Portsmouth, is now Yang Min Hyuk.
Do you know what? I've had the Portsmouth team open from the last game they played, and I saw that, and I was like, "There's absolutely no way that's not the one that he's picking." And I'm almost. And do you know what? Do you know what makes it even worse? If I go back in the book, I'm almost certain it's that prick that scored the only goal when Portsmouth beat Borough a couple of weeks back. In fact, talk amongst yourselves.
At least if
Portsmouth won. Portsmouth won. Middlesbrough 0. Min Hyuk 23 minutes. What a piece of shit.
At least if Portsmouth don't win against Hull at the weekend, those two combined will have a lovely Scrabble victory on their hands.
Lovely. Beautiful little Scrabble. Beautiful. We move to our third game of the week, and it is Mylock Middlesbrough taking on Tom Brady's Birmingham City. Obviously, it's my team, so I will give my prediction last. And we'll do the same as we did last time. Let's go straight back. Mr. Stuart Woodmansey for his prediction on Borough versus Blues.
I am going for a 1-1 draw.
Ooh.
Think that they'll be in trouble after their spanking at Watford, so they'll need to get some points on the board. Plus, you never know. Rob Edwards might be tempted to go and manage Wolves by the end of the week as well. That keeps rearing its head, along with Eric Ten Hag. Maybe Rob Edwards could go there, and you could get Eric Ten Hag instead.
Oh, lovely.
Or there, and you could have Gary O'Neill being as he didn't want the horse.
No, thanks, Mister. Mister. Oh, I'd kind of like a little bit of time off, so I'm just going to intentionally get myself booked in the next game. Oh, well, you can go fuck yourself then.
The goal scorers in that 1-1 draw I've got down as Conway, because he's got to start scoring again at some point, and Stansfield, just because he's a knob.
What is he like? He's like 22, isn't he? He's the oldest looking 22-year-old.
I'm really looking forward to when the Lego bring out his next action figure.
Oh, Matthew?
Have you seen that? So obviously the last two Birmingham results where they've won 4-0 both times. So I've gone for a Borough 2-1 win.
Hey, do you know what though? Who was the team before the 4-0 wins, Matt?
It was Hull. There we go.
We were beaten 3-2.
So I've gone Conway and McGree.
Oh, someone's taken notice of the fact that McGree's back in the fold, I see.
I did.
Don't suppose you know McGree had a little loan spell at, do you?
Oh, Birmingham, did he?
Well, he might have been.
Ah, there we go. Old boy rule that I didn't know about. And I've gone for... He will have driven through Yorkshire to get there. So there he is. Iwata.
Oh, God.
And the award for most tenuous goal scoring link of the podcast goes to.
So it's getting there.
If we're splitting hairs, technically the game is taking place in North Yorkshire, according to some people. So
I mean, it's one of them places that nobody really wants, isn't it? So it's kind of
I think it keeps getting sort of like, Cleveland doesn't want it, Teesside doesn't want it, North Yorkshire doesn't want it, so they just have to sort of like take it in turns to pass it on.
Durham definitely doesn't want it.
I think. Well, I agree with sort of both of you. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. We can't keep clean sheets at the minute. We're not in the best form. And Birmingham have just smashed two teams 4-0, like Matt said. Got a strange feeling about this game. I should really be going for a Birmingham win, but we haven't lost at home yet this season. Ideally, would like to keep that run going. I too have gone with Conway and McGree to score for the Borough. So if Conway doesn't score, we're all fucked. And then I've gone for Patrick Roberts to score for Birmingham because he had a loan spell at the Borough and he's a bit of a shit out. And they've got a player who plays up front for him called Marvin Dukes, who apparently was well thought of when he came in. Fairly certain he hasn't scored yet. So I think we all know the rule, lads. So yes, Dukes and Roberts, Conway and McGree as my 4 goal scorers in my 2-2 draw. Which leaves us with our final game of the week. And it's one we all want to be getting in on, because it takes us to Sunday and it takes us to Sky Sports Television. Not on the Plus channel, this is live on Sky Sports Premier League, no less. And it sees Nottingham Forest fresh off their great performance in Austria, we'll say. Let's put some positiveness into the ether. They've come off the
Say
back
it with
of a
confidence
great
then, Paul. Don't worry about it. Say it with confidence, man.
Nottingham Forest, straight off the back of a wonderful, wonderful performance against Sturm Graz. sorry, whatever the SK Punchagama Sturmgratz against everyone's least favourite West Yorkshire team, Leeds United. It's Mr. Mo's team. He will give the final prediction of the week. I have gone, of course, for a 3-1 Nottingham Forest win. I've gone for a Awonyi to score 2 and Hutchinson to bag his first. I've also gone for Okafor to score for Leeds. Stu?
I've gone for a 2-1 Forest win. I've gone for Ndoye and Anderson for Forest. And Longstaff.
The man with the long staff. I saw Mr. Moore shaking his head in disagreement, so I can only presume he's gone for either a low-scoring draw, a high-scoring draw, or dare I suggest it, even potentially a Leeds win.
I haven't. It wasn't a head shaking in disagreement. It was a head shaking in, I can't believe you predicted the same as me, so now we're definitely buggered.
So sorry.
I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping that this is the start of the kick on. It's surely got to be. You can't. I mean, if they lose against Leeds after the Man United performance, we're going down because that's what teams that go down do. You play well against the good teams and you show what you're made of there, and then with the games that you're meant to win, you don't, and eventually you go down. And like Leeds, I think if Forest win, we're a point behind Leeds after this game. So, yeah, they need to win. So I'm hoping that they go out and they just give them an absolute smacking. So I've gone for a Forest 3-1 win. I'm hoping that after having a nice rest, because he got himself, he's done a cracking job. What we played four games in Europe, or 3 or 4 games in Europe, and Jesus has got 3 bookings and got himself suspended for things. So I think, yeah, it's literally 3 games, 3 yellow cards. So congratulations, mate! You've done a cracking job there.
One of them for a goal celebration as well. If I remember rightly, one for a goal celebration.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Over celebrating. I mean, obviously they did the thing about Bruno Guimaraes over celebrating the other day, and I mean, he celebrated his goal and then waited a little bit longer and then did his Dragon Ball Z celebration, whatever. So yeah, I've got Jesus to score. I've got, how do you beat a shithouse team? You bring your own shithouse to the party. So I've gone with Ryan Yates. And I've got Anderson, because I think I've predicted Anderson to score for the past few weeks, and he still hasn't yet, and he must be about due. And just because he always seems to score against us or do something against us, I've gone for Aronson.
Let's hope not, because, it's League. So, that is the final prediction for the week for the podcast, and that brings us to the end. I don't know if you wanted to bring up the thing that was discussed in the group chat slightly earlier in the day about the gentleman on the train that was a Nottingham Forest fan.
Yeah, so obviously terrible thing that happened on Saturday evening. Obviously a busy train. It's the main train from that goes from Edinburgh through to London, and obviously some individual got onto the train and started attacking people. And apparently he's a well-known Forest fan. Not personally to me, but a lot of kind of people are. He's well known in the ground. There's lots of pictures of him with European Cups and stuff like that. A guy called Stephen Crean, and and he helped people escape first when he turned around to try and deal with this attacker. So he's been on the news with obviously he's got quite nasty stab wounds to his hand, his both hands. I think it's his upper arm and his head. So, in some ways, very lucky, but in another way, very brave and very kind of thing. So, obviously, it started to go. I think once it had been started to be talked about, I know that Forest had made a statement saying if there was any Forest supporters on the train who've been injured after being to the game, then they would look after them no matter what, the best healthcare. So I think he has been moved into, how do I put it? Obviously, he would get fantastic treatment on the NHS, but he might be in slightly more comfortable climes, shall we say now, considering he is from the London area. And obviously the Marinakises have offices there and stuff like that, and no doubt have access to slightly more spenny healthcare that might be coming to us, depending on the way people vote in a couple of years' time. So lots of rumor kind of things went around, and then it came up on, I think the first time I saw it was Morgan Gibbs White shared it on his Instagram about him and about the guy, and shared his the link to his Just Giving page. I assume that he probably gave some money towards it as well. But obviously, I assume a lot of the players have done it, but done it anonymously. And there's different levels to it, isn't it? People are like, oh God, can a footballer not give a little bit more than however much they gave? Because yeah, they probably could, but also the fact that they're giving anything is quite decent, and I'm sure they probably gave more than your layman kind of person. But then it came out today that Forest have donated £10,000 to the Just Giving page, but then have said he's got I think it's like nearly at 50 grand now, after someone had initially set the target as 500 quid, which would have just about possibly paid for 2/3 of his season ticket for next year or something. But yeah, so it's nearly 50 grand. Forest have said that he can have his season ticket free for next season. He's been invited to go to a Europa League game on the charter plane with the players to wherever they go. He gets to stay in this team hotel. He gets all the hospitality and all that kind of business, which is absolutely fantastic. I think well deserved for the guy. And kind of I know the club's had a lot of negative kind of press recently, but also kind of shows that they look after their own at the end of the day, particularly when their own does something quite, I don't want to say insane, but kind of insane, heroic and insane, can we say? Particularly at a time when lots of people, obviously lots of people were running in the opposite direction. He helped other people kind of, save themselves. Well done to him. Well done to the club, and get well soon.
Very much sentiments that are echoed by everyone here on the podcast. Does anyone else anything else they'd like to bring to the table? In that case, I will just thank these two gentlemen for going through the details of the games involving their teams. And then we'll call it a day there. Join us again next week, where we'll go through the results that we've just predicted, and we will bring you some more predictions. Oh no, we won't, because it's an international break. So potentially no podcast next week. Watch this space. We'll let you know in due course. But thank you very much, as always, for listening, for viewing, and we will see you very shortly. Tatty bye from us.
So there you go, watching that. Another one done, another one gone. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, do remember, if you haven't already, click those buttons. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review, and check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button. And if it's you that has been emailing us and we haven't got back to you, I apologise. There seems to be some sort of strange encryption around the email that we're trying to sort out. So keep sending your messages and we will get them shortly. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for being here. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.